You hate having people over. Not because you're rude. Not because you don't like your friends. But because the second someone texts, "Can I come by?" your entire nervous system starts filing for divorce. And if you've ever caught yourself suggesting a coffee shop for the third time this month just to avoid hosting, you already know what I'm talking about. So let's get into why your home feels less like a hangout spot and more like a fortress you defend with your life. Because this goes way deeper than just not wanting to clean. Your home isn't a house. It's not four walls and a roof. It's the only place on earth where you get to be the unedited version of yourself. You spent actual years getting everything exactly how it needs to be. The lighting that doesn't make you want to claw your eyes out. The temperature that's precisely between Arctic tundra and surface of the sun. Your favorite mug in the exact spot where your half-asleep hand can find it at 6 in the morning. The blanket folded at that specific angle because that's just how it goes. Everything in your space has a rhythm, a flow, a reason. And then someone asks if they can come over. Suddenly, in your mind, a stranger is about to sit in your spot. They're going to use your bathroom, touch your things, rearrange the energy you spent months calibrating. Psychologists call this environmental comfort. When you're so perfectly synced with your surroundings that everything just works. For some people, a couch is a couch. For you, that couch is positioned at the exact angle where the afternoon light hits differently, and moving it 3 inches to the left would genuinely ruin your week. It's not about the mess. It's about the disruption. It's about someone else's presence cracking open the carefully sealed container you've built around your peace. And here's where it gets exhausting. Hosting isn't just one thing. It's 7,000 tiny tasks wearing a trench coat pretending to be a casual hangout. You've got to clean, but not your version of clean. Guest clean. Which is when you suddenly become aware that your bathroom grout has developed a personality. That there's dust on top of the door frames. Door frames. You've lived here for 3 years and never once looked up there. But now you're on a step stool with a microfiber cloth because what if they notice? Then there's food. It's never just, do you want pizza? It's dietary restrictions. Preferences. Someone's lactose intolerant. Someone else doesn't do gluten. That one person who's on keto and acts like carbs after 6 p.m. are a personal betrayal. So now you're awake at midnight Googling gluten-free vegan appetizers that don't taste like punishment and questioning every life choice that led you here. And drinks. You need options. Tea, but what kind? Herbal? Green? Earl Grey? Black? Do they take milk? Honey? Are you running a beverage hotel now? This is what psychologists call cognitive load, the mental effort your brain uses to process information and make decisions. Hosting is cognitive load on performance-enhancing drugs. Your brain is running dozens of calculations simultaneously. Timing, coordination, social dynamics. When does conversation naturally end? How do you politely transition people from the living room to the dining area without it feeling like you're herding cattle? What if someone needs the bathroom while someone else is already in there? You're playing four-dimensional chess with social etiquette, and you're already exhausted before anyone even rings the doorbell. But it gets worse. When you host, your home stops being your home. It becomes a stage, and you're the lead actor, the director, the set designer, and the stressed-out audience manager all rolled into one anxious burrito. There's this concept called impression management, controlling how other people perceive you, and hosting cranks that dial to 11. Because you're not just managing impressions of yourself. You're managing impressions of your entire existence externalized into physical form. Every single choice you've ever made is suddenly on display. Your minimalist aesthetic? They're judging it. Your book collection? They're reading the spines, forming opinions about your intellectual credibility based on whether you own more fiction or nonfiction. Your art? They're deciding right now if you have taste or if you just bought whatever was on sale at HomeGoods. Even if your guests would never actually judge you, and realistically they probably won't because they're too busy wondering if you're judging them, your brain doesn't care. Your brain is fully convinced they're conducting forensic analysis of your throw pillow selection like it's a crime scene. And if you're an introvert, multiply all of this by infinity, because introverts recharge through alone time. Your home is your charging station. It's where your battery goes from 7% back to functional human being. But hosting is like running a marathon while someone actively drains your phone battery. You're expending social energy while simultaneously trying to protect your sacred recharge space. It's multitasking that nobody asked for and that you definitely didn't sign up for. Let's talk about something primal. Humans are territorial. We always have been. It's baked into our biology. Your home is your sanctuary, your fortress, your kingdom where you make the rules and everything exists exactly as you want it. Then you invite people in. Environmental psychologists study personal space and territorial behavior, and your home is the ultimate expression of both. It's where you get to exist authentically. Pants optional. Complete silence for an hour? Valid. Dinner at 9 p.m. while reading a book? Your call. Nobody gets to have an opinion about it. But when guests arrive, that sanctuary becomes shared space. You can't just exist anymore. You have to host. The rules change. The vibe shifts. You're trying to maintain the atmosphere you worked so hard to create while simultaneously accommodating other people's energy inside of it. And this isn't about mess. It's not about clutter. It's about someone else's presence fundamentally altering your carefully cultivated environment. Their voice changes the acoustics. Their movements disrupt the stillness. Their simply being there transforms your recharge station into a performance venue. And if you deal with anxiety or sensory sensitivities, multiply everything I just said by 1,000. Other people in your space feels like someone rearranging your internal furniture without asking permission first. Because your home isn't just comfortable. It's precisely comfortable. You've spent actual time, maybe years, creating an environment that supports your nervous system. The lighting isn't too bright. The sounds are familiar. The smells are yours. The temperature is calibrated to exactly what your body needs. Everything from how the furniture is arranged to the level of ambient noise has been optimized for your specific needs. Psychologists call this environmental mastery, controlling your surroundings in a way that supports your well-being. Not Instagram-worthy perfection. Not impressing anyone. Just a space that works for you. Then guests arrive, and suddenly you're managing their comfort while yours evaporates in real time. Someone's cold, so you adjust the temperature. Now you're uncomfortable. Someone opens a window. Your controlled environment gets disrupted. Someone talks loudly. Your peaceful acoustics shatter into 1,000 pieces. You're not worried about mess. You're grieving the temporary loss of your comfort baseline. And nobody talks about that part. Here's something else nobody mentions. Hosting requires vulnerability. You're opening your private world to other people, letting them see how you actually live, what you value, what you've chosen to surround yourself with. It's intimate in a way that meeting at a bar just isn't. Researcher Brené Brown talks about vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Hosting hits all three. You're uncertain if people will understand your space. You're risking judgment. And you're emotionally exposed because your sanctuary is exposed. Your home is an extension of you. When someone enters it, they're not just seeing furniture and decor. They're seeing your inner world externalized. That's a lot to put on display. And social media has absolutely destroyed us on this front. Everyone's posting their perfect hosting moments. Aesthetically arranged charcuterie boards that probably took 4 hours to make. Pinterest-worthy table settings with color-coordinated napkins. Candid laughter that definitely wasn't staged 3 times before someone got the right angle. And suddenly, having someone over for coffee feels like it requires a production budget and a creative director. This is social comparison, measuring yourself against others. And it's a recipe for hosting hatred because you're comparing your behind-the-scenes chaos to everyone else's highlight reel. Real talk? Your guests probably just want to hang out. They don't need themed cocktails with garnishes that match the season. But try telling your anxiety brain that at 2 in the morning when you're spiraling about whether you have enough seating. Here's the worst part. When you meet someone at a neutral location, you maintain control. You can leave whenever you want. Bad conversation. Fake an emergency. Feeling overstimulated? Irish goodbye. You have exit strategy autonomy. But when people are in your home, you're trapped. You can't leave your own sanctuary. You're stuck managing the situation until the socially acceptable departure time, which could be anywhere from 30 minutes to 5 hours depending on how oblivious your guests are to social cues. Even worse, you're no longer in control of your own space. You can't go lie down. Can't retreat to your usual comfort activities. You have to stay present, engaged, performing the role of host in the one place where you should be able to fully let your guard down. For people who value autonomy, this lack of exit strategy in your own home is genuinely distressing. You're trapped in your own sanctuary, which is possibly the most ironic form of suffering that exists. So here's what I need you to understand. If you hate hosting, you're not antisocial. You're not broken. You're not a bad friend. You're someone whose comfort, peace, and sense of control are deeply tied to your personal environment. And inviting people into that environment feels like voluntarily disrupting your own well-being. That's not a character flaw. That's completely valid. Maybe you meet friends at cafes instead. Maybe you do outdoor activities. Maybe you bring wine to other people's houses and never return the invitation. Whatever works for you works. Because here's the secret that nobody wants to say out loud. Protecting your sanctuary doesn't make you selfish. It makes you self-aware. It means you understand what you need to function, and you're not willing to sacrifice that just to meet some arbitrary social expectation that everyone should love hosting. Some people are energized by having a full house. Some people find peace in solitude and controlled environments. Both are fine. You don't owe anyone access to your personal space. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you'd rather meet literally anywhere else. Your home is yours, and keeping it that way isn't antisocial, it's self-preservation. If this made sense to you, if you've ever suggested a coffee shop 3 times in a row just to avoid having someone in your space, subscribe. Because this channel breaks down human behavior in ways that actually make sense. No guilt. No pressure to be someone you're not. Just the truth about why we do what we do.